What is going on with the Blues' 10th overall draft pick, Dalibor Dvorsky, and why is he making headlines? This will all be coming up here on Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things St. Louis Blues, a part here of the Locked On Podcast Network. If you're watching on YouTube, hello, make sure to subscribe. And if you're listening on any streaming services, I hope you're having a good day as well. On today's episode, I am going to be talking about Dalibor Dvorsky and why he is making headlines. I will also be previewing the Blues versus Coyotes. Yes, the Blues have a game tomorrow night, Thursday night. And it has felt like forever because it has been forever. The last time that the Blues played was this past Saturday night where the Blues hosted the Seattle Kraken. And all hail the Chief. Yes, you heard me right. I will be talking about Blues head coach Craig Berube. And why is that? Well, you're going to have to listen to find out, but this is all coming up on today's episode. It is a jam-packed episode, a lot going on, but I do need to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. For those that haven't been on social media today or have thought about the Blues today because, again, there's no game, you're like, oh, I can take a little bit of a break from hockey. Let me tell you this, there is never a break from hockey, especially here in St. Louis. I feel like there's always so much going on. And I did not expect to wake up today and to be doing a whole episode surrounded by this one player in particular. But the Blues' 10th overall prospect, Dalibor Dvorsky, was the center of attention today. See what I did there? Because he is a center. I thought that was creative. You can laugh at my little dad jokes. I tried. But Dalibor Dvorsky has been reassigned from the Swedish hockey leagues and to the Ontario Hockey League, so the OHL, and he will be with the Sudbury Wolves. So yes, he will be with the Wolf Pack. Okay, so what does this exactly mean? Is this a bad thing? Is this a good thing? Well, luckily, Doug Armstrong spoke out today, and I'm going to recite what he said and break down what's been going on. After evaluating Dalibor's situation in Sweden and talking with him and his representatives, we jointly decided that the opportunity to play regular minutes at Sudbury against his peer group in the OHL would be the best thing for his development at this time. Before I continue on with what Doug Armstrong was saying, I do want to say this. I've been keeping a very close tab on my friend Dalibor Dvorsky because he is the future of the St. Louis Blues. He was only playing like 40 seconds in the 10 games that he was in. They wouldn't put him on the ice. It was a very hostile situation. I don't know if that's because he signed with a team in the NHL. And I, again, don't know what's going on. All I can say is that obviously he wasn't being treated the way that you should be treated when you're a top 10 prospect for the NHL, which is a huge accomplishment and honor, and you're only playing 40 seconds on the ice. Obviously, this is a little weird. Armstrong then continued and said, we look forward to watching his continued growth as a player. So that's what Doug Armstrong had to say on this. I believe that the Blues truly want the best for Dalibor, and they want him to develop properly. And I have to say that when you take a look at the Pack, right, the Wolves, they are such a respectable team. And it's a team where he can truly thrive in. So I have a quote from the Wolves VP general manager, Rob Pineo. And he said, Dalibor is a world-class player whom we are very excited to add to our hockey club. He is a first-class young man, and we look forward to helping him further develop as the star player that went 10th overall in the NHL draft in June. He is very excited to get to Sudbury and join the team. Our fans will be very fortunate and excited to watch DeBoer this season. I think overall, the fact that he is now coming to North America is saying that maybe he's a little bit closer to playing with maybe the Thunderbirds, which is the Blues' AHL team, or maybe even potentially going to the Blues sooner than we all thought. So this is what the man himself, the myth, the legend, Dalibor Dvorsky, said about coming over to North America and to be playing. I am very excited to be joining Sudbury. I can't wait to meet all of my new teammates and coaches and Wolves fans and start my new hockey chapter in North America. Oh, this is so exciting. So the Wolves do return. They're at home tonight. Obviously, Dvorsky's not playing tonight, but this is huge. And one thing I want to say is this. Social media is crazy. And right now I'm going to pull up the Locked On Blues Twitter, which is at Locked On Blues, by the way. I always have to say that because sometimes people follow my main account, and I'm always one of those things where it's always like, follow my account, follow the Blues account, but I will be tweeting so frequently on the Blues account. And my friend, Mike Meyer, actually messaged me this morning, and he works for the Hockey Writer, and he said, Haley, there's going to be huge news on Dvorsky breaking. And I was like, oh, what's going on, Mike? And then I always like to give credit to other journalists, by the way. So from our lead prospects, Leslie Allenin said, as reported by the club, Dalibor Dvorsky is leaving IK Oscarham after just 10 games in the SHL and will be moving to play in North America. So it's not a surprise, obviously. If you've been paying attention, Dvorsky also wasn't on ice for the last 2 games. And with the small amount of times that he was playing, there is, something that kind of doesn't need to be said. So one thing I want to address to Blues fans is this. A lot of people on social media assume, looking at the stats, why isn't he playing? Why is he getting no points? Is this guy a bust? He is not a bust. He is extremely talented. As I said, I'm hoping as more information comes out, and I'm a journalist at the end of the day, I only want to say things that are factual about situations. I don't know if something was going on. I don't know if there was any resentment because he did sign with an NHL team. I don't know. But what I can say is this, is that he was a steal in the draft. I talked to so many different people that really know these prospects, right? I talk to people throughout the NHL, and every single person that I have spoken to about Dvorsky, because I have such high hopes for him, right? They all said that he was a steal at 10th overall. And, the OHL, I have to give it so much props because they are fantastic at developing players, and it's a very competitive league, which is important for a guy like Dalibor Dvorsky to be put in that situation, those high pressure situations, because that's what the NHL is. Every single game, it's a high pressure situation, especially for somebody that's going to have so many eyes on him. I mean, I know for me as a Blues fan, the first thing I want to do when he comes and plays for the Blues is watch his game. I don't really focus on what else is going on. I want to see how he fits in on the ice. So there is a lot riding on Dalibor Dvorsky, and Doug Armstrong happens to be completely right in this situation. Put him in the OHL, put him in a better league that will allow him to play, and see what he can do. And I am telling you, if you are doubting because you saw that he's barely played and no points, just know that 40 seconds on the ice, it's going to be a little bit unlikely to get some points in those 40 seconds. So take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, I can't comment on why he wasn't, and I know I'm kind of repetitive a little bit, But I just don't like to see people making assumptions when something was going on. And I don't want to say it's shady, but you can kind of get where I'm hinting at, where something wasn't clicking. And I am really happy for Dalibor, and I cannot wait for him to finally wear that blue note eventually. Not this season, not next season, but eventually he will wear that blue note. So I am super pumped up about that. And I'm just a big Dalibor Dvorsky fan. What can I say? That man's awesome. Okay. Speaking of awesome, passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, from superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED lights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Enjoy your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Game preview. I am so pumped up. I will be dicked out in all my blue stuff tomorrow because it is finally going to be game day again here in St. Louis. For those that don't know, and I kind of ran about this on Monday's episode, the NHL thought it was a spectacular idea not to schedule the Blues play from Saturday until Thursday. Yes, you heard me. I understand that scheduling sucks sometimes. I'm trying to be cautious with my words, but at the end of the day, it is a disgrace when the season kicks off. All of your fans are excited, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, hey, where are my Blues? Oh, yeah, not playing. And I'm just happy it wasn't a week apart, but I mean, 5 days is still 5 days, and that is quite a lot in the sports world. So many things happen in sports in 5 days, not just hockey, but with baseball, football. I mean, obviously football, but a lot goes on. So I just would prefer for that not to be a situation that happens again. So Gary Bettman, whoever does the scheduling, we need to have a talk. And okay, like technically, I am so weird when I count. I'm like 5, 4. It's technically 4 consecutive, but like I still think it's 5. Okay. So this is what's going on with the Blues and the Coyotes. So some highlights from the St. Louis Blues. So the Blues 2 games that they've played, of course, featured our hero, Jordan Binnington, in net, stopping 63 out of 65 shots faced. Binnington leads all NHL goaltenders with more than one start with a .969 save percentage and a 0.92 goals against average. Unbelievable. I am so ecstatic, first off, that Binner is back to his old self again. It is so nice to see him really playing some aggressive hockey. So the Blues also are looking to get their first power play goal. So that is another thing that the Blues are looking to do on their power play. There was an upper body injury to, obviously, our friend that I talked about yesterday, Pavel Buchnevich. And this is kind of a challenge. It's day to day. No update today. I did talk about the update yesterday that Doug Armstrong gave about how it's going to be day to day. It's not a concussion, but at the same time, I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow. I doubt it. I really think it's unlikely, but hopefully he does because I love Boosh and who doesn't? So come on. But at the same time, I know that he needs to get healthy again to play. So this is what's going on with the Blues. the Blues, they play tomorrow night against the Coyotes, and then they host the Pittsburgh Penguins on Saturday. So definitely a lot of hockey going on soon. The Coyotes, on the other hand, I'm going to break down what's been going on with them. So the Coyotes opened their season with 4 straight road games, and they are going to be going home after this game on Thursday night. They had a pair of back-to-back losses, which obviously is kind of good for the Blues when they're kind of down already, right? On opening night, the Coyotes lost to the Rangers, and on Monday they were shut up by the Islanders, and yeah, it hasn't been the best for the Coyotes. So the Coyotes, and I was laughing about this, and some people said I shouldn't be laughing about it, but I'm going to laugh about it. They beat the New Jersey Devils in a shootout, and I find it funny only for the fact that, and when we play the Devils, I'll get more into this, that I think the Devils are a cup contending team, excuse me, and out of all teams, the Coyotes beat them, so yikes. So the Coyotes are coming into St. Louis with a 1-2-0 record, which obviously is a losing record. These are 2 divisional teams, so it's going to be a little bit of a more meaningful game, which all games are meaningful, but especially when it's on your own division, it's a little bit more meaningful, you can say. There are some concerns that I do have. Well, not concerns, but on the Coyotes, again, Clayton Keller, and I've said this before, he is a player that, despite the fact that he is on the Coyotes, he still had 86 points last season. And he is a St. Louis native, so I got to give it to him. He probably watched the Blues growing up 100%, and he actually has 24 points in his 24 career teams against his hometown team. So, yeah, it's safe to say that he does pretty well when he plays in St. Louis. And I don't know if it's because he has family that comes out, but at the end of the day, Clayton Keller is always a guy that makes me a little bit nervous when coming back to home. And St. Louis is home. So just be prepared for a Clayton Keller goal. So, a fun little fact about our boy, Alexei Torenchenko. He is expected to dress in his 100th career NHL game. So that will be a huge celebration for him. The Blues will also be, as I said yesterday, announcing the inductees to the St. Louis Blues Hall of Fame class of 2024. And last season included Brett Hull, Al McNallis, Bertie Ferdaco, Bob and Barclay Plager, and Chris Pronger, needless to say, star-studded. And I know I said this before, but I said Army's coming up almost in his 1,000th game as general manager of the Blues. Last season, Army also became the longest tenured GM in franchise history, and he's actually the longest tenured active GM in the NHL. So this will be 998. So yes, in 2 more games, it will be Army's 1,000th. So big milestones ahead for the guys on the Blues, and I am excited for tomorrow. I will give you all my predictions and all that coming up. But I need to tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. Ready for this? Braden Shen scores a hat trick, and the Blues win the Stanley Cup. And if you want to win 100 times your money, play daily fantasy hockey on the Sleeper app. These are all possible scenarios for this season, but you have a chance at winning big. You need to play daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper as the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is your top choice for daily fantasy sports, especially daily fantasy hockey. With Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. Listen, when you have guys on the team like Robert Thomas, because it is RT season, you need to use Sleeper. You can choose stats like goals, assists, saves for Binner, plus, minus, and more. You heard me, Blues fans. 100-time payouts on Sleeper. So start paying attention and get your picks in, right? So you can win big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's Locked On NHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for detail. All hail the Chief. And the Chief is Craig Berube. Yes, Craig Berube. Oh, man, this Blues team is looking nice. And there's been things that have improved significantly. And I just have to give a shout out to all the coaching staff, but especially our man, Craig Berube, because this team is looking a little bit more competitive than I thought they would be. Obviously, the Coyotes are the Coyotes. As much as I hate on them, I still don't think it's going to be an easy game. I do hate on the Coyotes a lot, but I have my reasonings behind it. I just don't think that they should be out in Arizona. But anyways, that's not the point. I think that Berube has done a really good job with the defense and the blue line and getting them to a better position. It's still not good, okay? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, oh, yeah, this defense is good. It's not, but it's better, and better is better than whatever we saw on the ice last year of that product. I like the penalty kill. So the PK, that's been actually quite nice. The power play, as I did mention, the Blues are looking to get their first power play goal. And it is all achievable things in tomorrow night's contest between the two teams. Do I think that it's going to be a 4-0 shutout win? No. But I do think it's going to be something closer to a 3-2 win. And the reason why I say that is when I mention guys like a Clayton Keller, he is somebody that has been so dominant when he plays against the St. Louis Blues. And it's really hard for me. And it's not because of Binner. I think Binnington has looked really good. It's because of the defense. I don't know if the defense is going to be as strong as they were in the first two games. And I understand it is the Coyotes. They're not, the Dallas Stars, who is a cup contending team, who I actually have to win the cup. But at the same time, it's early in the season. You're going to end up losing. You're going to end up winning. This is how hockey is. But with my concerns about the defense, yeah, obviously it's something that you have to take in consideration that this game is going to be maybe a little bit more closer than we would have thought. With Bush not being in, that's another thing. Like, you need to factor in reasons as to why the game may not go how it would have been against a team like the Stars, because now this is when the test begins. Binner's had these amazing stats. He's had this now for 5 days. A lot of eyes will be on him, and it's not going to be easy, but the St. Louis Blues are a very resilient team, and Craig Berube has done a fantastic job into getting this team excited again. The players look more excited. The fans obviously are excited and showing up. And they're a fun team to watch. Despite it only being 2 games into the season, I still feel like the first couple games, that's when you can captivate your fan base again. And the Blues have done just that. So, yes, I think it's going to be a closer game. But at the same time, I have to say, I still think the Blues are going to win. And if I had to say a player to get a goal, I'm going to go with my boy Jordan Kyrou, because I just know that he's going to be having an all-star season. So on tomorrow's episode of Locked On Blues, I will be going some more in-depth with the Blues and Coyotes, talking about lines for the night, what went on at morning skate, and just some more details. So it will be a fun episode tomorrow. This is a fun episode today, and just like always, I will see you tomorrow on Locked On Blues. And until then, let's go Blues.